Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacey. I hope everyone's doing great today. So I just have to complain and moan a little bit because this is just irking me. I talk a lot about the same few cases because I tend to talk about the cases that are trending. And, you know, this Celeste Hernandez murder, which looks to have been committed by David Berg. That's who's accused. She was found in his car. I mean, there's a lot of evidence, digital and physical, that he's going to have to fight if he wants to take this to trial. And good luck, because he's got enough CSAM material on his phone to practically give him a life sentence, and he's 20 years old. Well, he was 20 when he committed. He might be 21 now. But, I mean, he's got like 40 years worth of disgusting illegal material on his phone. But again, I saw, and I don't want to, it wasn't a YouTuber, it's a journalist. You know, it's not just someone that has a YouTube channel. This is someone that is both a mainstream media person, worked at Court TV, is a lawyer, so they, you know, is a person with a large platform. I have a tiny little platform, and maybe 200 people see my stuff. So I'm going to repeat myself because everybody else is repeating themselves, and this gets on my nerves. Nobody, very few people, are calling out David's parents for having met Celeste on multiple occasions and not been able to tell she wasn't 19, that she was 12, 13, and at the absolute oldest when they met her, 14, and they had children that were that age. So they can't tell the difference between a 14-year-old up close. It's not like they saw her from, you know, waving from a private plane. They met her. And yet everybody wants to attack her parents and everything they didn't do, because everybody else was her parent and they know better, and they know what went on in that home, and they know whether she was a perfect child that obeyed and therefore she had to be running from abuse. You don't know what went on in that home, and everybody reacts differently. And the parents, from what I understand, English is not their first language. They're not born in this country, and a lot of people that come from other countries are very fearful of the legal system and the police because they're systems in the countries that many of them come from. And I'm speaking generally, not specifically about her family, but I'm speaking generally. My family came from Hungary, you know, and my grandfather's family, he was orphaned very young, but they came from Romania. I mean, they were very inclusive. They moved to where other people, you know, that spoke their language, you know, were, and like my family left the Hungarian Catholic Church, and most Hungarians are Catholic. There were very few Hungarian Protestants. They actually had to found their own church. I mean, it was like wild 100 years ago how people were when they moved countries. And yet, so I have some empathy for these people, that they're not going to react necessarily the way the average American would react, and, you know, go to social media and blah, 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 blah. You're going to see a different reaction because they're culturally different. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It just is. I say this all the time. Everybody is built. You are shaped and built by how life has treated you. If people have been kind and gentle and, you know, caring and loving toward you, you tend to have a more positive view of the world. Where if you've been beaten and abused and neglected and abandoned, whether physically or emotionally or both, and horrendously abused by life, you tend to think people are not good, and you have a less positive view of it. So I think all these people are weighing in going, oh, there's signs of abuse because she was running away. My son, when he was 13, doesn't do this nonsense now, and he started getting better when he was like 13, 14. But when he was young, I mean, if he didn't want to come home, he just wouldn't come home. Like he lied to the police one time when he was like 9. My children were traumatized by a cop. I've talked about it in old videos. They're fine with the police. But when they were younger, there was a very nasty incident with an officer who should have really been written up for the incident. He screamed at my children. He was 6'3", bald guy, big scar on his face, screamed at my kids, called them rotten little bastards because they were listening. Not talking, listening. And he told them to get the fuck out of the room. I excuse the F-bomb, but if I could have actually like called the police department, filed a complaint, and handled it like a mature adult, I would have. And I hope someone at some point does, because he's going to do that to someone else's family. But because of that, he was afraid of the police. So when the police were looking for him, they came back to us and they said, we think we found him at a friend's house, but he is denying who he is. Do you have a more recent photo so we can verify it? Because he looks like you with brown hair, because my son looks a lot like me. He's like, we think it is him, but he is saying it's not. And I'm like, and I explained why. And they said, oh, no, that made our job harder. They're like, you got his name, we'll call and thank him personally. Because that took up another half hour of their time, because then they had to come get a picture from us to see what our kid looked like to go pick him up from a friend's house. Because him and the friend were both like, no, he left, he's not here. No, he was scared because of what the other officer had done. And he was like only 4 years old. He was the youngest of my kids, and it scared him to death. So I don't think you can draw anything from the fact that she was running away, other than she wanted to be with David, obviously, and she thought they had a real relationship, and there were other things going on with that, and she was being groomed, and her parents took her phone away and were sleeping in her room trying to keep her from running. And what did he do? Pay someone to give her a phone. And imagine that person's probably got some like regret. They were a child and were manipulated by, David too. So even if he is not guilty of the homicide, I mean, some of the things he's done are just despicable. And it really irks me when they go after Celeste's family, because I think it's really unfair. I don't think that she's... I think they're being unfair. Go after David's family. If you really need to put up a video, if you really need to go after somebody, then go after David's family. They met her. They had to know what was going on. They had to know what was going on with their son. There's more going on with that whole story of why he was pulled out of school. I pulled my son out of school because he was throwing up every day, because he was so stressed out from the bullying. And I was bullied. So guess what? I pulled him out because I know what that's like, to be forced to go somewhere 8 hours a day where the people there make it hell. I wasn't inflicting that on him when he's close enough to get his GED. Why would I do that to him? I wasn't given that choice. I actually went to summer school to graduate early. So I still got out early. I just did it a different way. But if you, think Celeste's parents did wrong, I'm sure they didn't do everything right. I'm a mom. I can speak from experience. I make mistakes every day. I mean, they're usually minor, but I'm a human. I make mistakes. And I think it's horrible that so many people want to sit in judgment. They didn't live in the home. They don't know what went on. And no, their parents aren't even speaking to the media, so they're not even basing it on the statements these people making it. They're attacking them based on silence. And that really sits not well with me. I don't like it. To me, it's bullying. And like I just said 6 times, I was bullied horribly. I don't like bullies. I don't want to be bullied. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it's okay to bully the grieving family of a girl who wasn't just murdered. She was groomed, then murdered, then butchered, then allowed to rot in the trunk of some singer's car. I have absolute compassion and empathy for the family, and until it's proven that they did something wrong and did something that actively contributed to her death, like they drove her up there, which they didn't. She took an Uber. I mean, they were trying to shut that down to the best of the information that's out there that I can see. I don't know if these people are getting information that I don't have, but I'm using the same information everybody else is using, So I'm in Michigan. I don't have access to, records in LAPD. But I think it's gross. And if I don't have anything new to say, I don't put up a video. But I don't attack people, and I don't make things up just to make content. But as usual, I'm going to split this into 2 because it's really long. I got to go pump gas now and do all that unpleasant adult stuff. But please do all the YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for spending a little time with me. Oh, please leave me some comments. I get great comments on these because a lot of people feel the same way I do about leave her parents alone. But please let me know any other cases you're interested in me covering, or give me your opinions of other cases. And I will be covering the Tepe murders again. I did videos when it first happened, when they were looking for the suspect. As you know, now it's all like motions and limine and all that's done, you know, without cameras behind closed doors. So once that starts nearing trial for Michael, is it McKee or McKay? I think it's McKee. But for her first husband, as that trial nears, I will be covering the case more and more. So thank you for spending a little time with me. Oop, someone just fell. And I always try to not like look right when when that happens, because I trip and it's embarrassing. You know, I don't like it when I go out of my way and 58 people are looking at me. I always try to like look down. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Everyone have a great day. Bye.